Oh damn. We live? We live. Okay. What is going on? I was just trying to finish eating up something right quick. Hopefully the camera's straight. I think it is bugging a little bit. Hold on. We'll fix that. We'll fix that in a second. Boom, we there. All right. What's good? What's good? Who we got in the chat? This is just like an impromptu live today. Kind of like most of my lives, man. Ain't nothing really going on, but I will say I do have a project that I'm trying to finish up that's taking longer than I wanted it to take. Should have been out last week, but I'm still trying to learn what I'm doing here on YouTube and all that. So it's a slow journey, and I'm trying to use the best tools I can. Let me concentrate for a second while I cut this line. Y'all ever eaten lime just for the lime with nothing else? No tonic, no gin, no nothing, just the lime. I don't know, it's pretty good. I like the taste of it. And I'm starting to hear it's got really good health benefits. So let me concentrate on this before I slice myself up right quick. There we go. That's the good angle. Got this little bitty knife, but it does its job, I guess. Boom. Yeah, so what y'all got going on? Clint. All right. We in here. South Africa, right? Is that the symbol I'm seeing on Clint? Is that a South Africa flag? Man, I'm looking at South Africa. There's places I want to travel to pretty soon. I need to get back to Africa, obviously, but South Africa is definitely high up on the list. I got some. Oh, okay, that's Guyana. That's right. That's right. I don't know much about Guyana at all. I think I know they're in South America. I know where they're at, but yeah. But I'm thinking about heading to South Africa, maybe Brazil. Uh, yeah, yeah. I guess you read my mind right there. Brazil. Everybody's trying to get down to Brazil for the carnival, right? It's I guess there's other places that got carnivals going on, but I think Brazil is the most well known. Um, Probably for good reason, right? They probably have the most people involved in a carnival because they're a much bigger nation than all the other nations that have carnival. So whether it's even the one here in Colombia or Trinidad or any of those places, I think Brazil by far. I mean, even just one of their cities probably has more people than some of those countries. So you take a place like Rio and the amount of people that are involved in a carnival, and that's equal to some small cities. Just the people involved in a carnival. Spectators and people who are actually in the events. Um, but then you take places like Salvador, which is up north. Then you got other parts of Brazil that I don't know how well their the carnival festival is, but Sao Paulo, I'm sure, has something going on. I would think, and you take those places combined, and it's just probably more people partying on the globe at one time in a country than any other place. So I have to haven't experienced it myself firsthand, but I I'm betting the farm that Brazil has it hands down when it comes to people. Yeah, Bahia, Salvador Bahia. Yeah, yeah. What's good? What's good? Casino 777XO. Man, you must love gambling, bro. With a with a name like that, and he got the profile pic to match. Looks like some crazy Vegas thing going on. Okay, it's the only English speaking country in South America. I didn't know that about Guyana. Huh, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I would say yeah, Brazil is amazing. Don't get it twisted. I've only visited Rio, so that's like a small section of the country. Um, but yeah, I think yeah they do have their political issues, their social problems. I think there's no way around um, a country that big with that many people. Um, and then it's too they have a pretty much a good amount of natural wealth, right? When it comes to just different agriculture industries, all of that. So you take all of that and combine it, and then you got some people getting to the bag well before others, and then you got the history of the slave trade and all that happened there. Um, yeah, you're gonna have. I think you're gonna have social issues. A lot of places, almost every place has social issues. Don't get it twisted. I think even I would say one of the places where you probably have the least amount of social issues, between different groups of people is maybe Japan because it don't have different groups of people. It's relatively the same. They're pretty homogeneous when it comes to people who are actually Japanese, born there, families from there, um, and all of that. But as far as I know, because when I spent time there, I didn't hear anything about any of that. I'm sure there's something. There's always something on some deeper levels, but it's probably the best that I've seen in any country I've been in when it comes to that. Although, let me think, countries with the worst amount of social issues. Hey, I'm doing this thing with this mic right here, so let me know if there's any issues. I know I probably need to be facing the mic to get the best audio. So maybe I need to lean back like this and look at y'all like that. Yeah, Japan is definitely a lot more stable in a lot of ways, right? It's not just their social dynamic, but just in a lot of ways they definitely just feel more stable. I guess it stems from the social dynamic too, if you actually think about it a little bit. Okay. Mic is clear. Cool. Good to hear. Audio's good. Straight. Yeah, I might start rocking like this from now on. I was experimenting with it earlier today when I was doing some voiceovers for the next video that's going to come out. I wanted it to come out today. It's not going to happen. My drive just started dying down. Yesterday it was peaking, and then I hit a snag earlier today with the editing. Actually, I didn't hit a snag. I just went down a rabbit hole doing something with this mic, downloaded the software, and then when I went back to what I was going to do some voiceovers. It wouldn't connect. So from that point on, I had to research how to reconnect it, and then I finally figured it out. It took me like an hour, reconnected the mic, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done for right now. I don't want to do no voiceovers. Uh, I sound like such a chump right now talking about that and how hard my existence with this is, right? Nah, we gonna get it out though. We gonna get it out probably this weekend, but I'm probably gonna be filming I might be filming some content later today and to tonight. So might actually get some night footage with this camera. I don't know. Might be just using the GoPro or the iPhone, but something I want to film to tie some other things together that I've been doing for y'all. I'm trying to show y'all another side of some of these places, a different look. All right, let me see what else we got. Yeah, Japan has the oldest living people in the world, the longest living people. That's what you mean. Yeah, because when you say the oldest living people, in my head, I'm thinking like oldest living people, like the Japanese are older than the tribes in Africa. No, not they're not. But longest living, yes. As far as the records say right now, yeah, I think they have a huge number of, especially in Okinawa, the south of Japan, where it's warmer, more tropical climate. They have a group of what they call them centenarians, people who are over 100. They have the biggest group of that, and I think once you get in the 90s, you won. You won the long game. Yeah. If you in your 90s and you still thinking correctly, like you can still feed yourself, you can still go go grab something, and maybe don't go on real long walks, but you can still walk around and get around. You can still chew your own food, all that, and you in your 90s, and if you winning. And if you can still do that in past 99, it's you gotta you done mastered the longevity thing. But I think it gets to a certain point and you're just like, all right, this is old. I'm tired of seeing these little people pop up, and then all of a sudden, just think about it. You're 100. You done seen people grow from little babies to thinking they know everything. I could just imagine that. Like you'd have to be in a place where elders are respected. Because if not, what's it for? Like you're gonna be old, wrinkly, even if you can think properly and move good. If you in the West, a lot of places in the West, you ain't gonna get no respect, bro. People just gonna try to run over you. People who probably, you can give them some advice. Somebody who's maybe 40 and out of shape, and you can give them advice on living healthier without. They probably don't even want to hear you. The ungratefulness, that I would think when you get that old, what's more important is that you have a good circle, whether it's family or not, a good circle of respectable people around you, you know? And I think the Japan culture does facilitate a lot of that. I can't think of any place in the West that I've been where I think it'd be like, where it's like ingrained in the culture where even if people don't know you, they still give you their respect. Well, I would say Africa, people do respect older people. It's just when you get to the cities, you can't be in the city. You get in the cities and it's done for. The respect value just for everybody just goes down. Okay, yeah, like the lighting, yeah, it looks nice. I'm just trying some things. I've I've invested in some equipment long time ago, and every once in a while, you think about it, you're like, yo, I ain't even using this thing. Like, hold on, let me go ahead and about it. Let me go ahead and break this out, do a live. Um, I might actually start doing parts of my video like this where I'm introing something. I'm in a place, a different country, and I'm talking about it in this format. Like say, hey, today I'm gonna show you around Accra, Ghana, and blah blah blah. Like my next video is gonna be about. But yeah, just intro it like in this type of format. But yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, the blue zones. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's up. The blue zones, I think it's Japan, uh, Sardinia, Italy, and they say someplace in California. It might be Argentina too. A place in Argentina, but the one in California, I kind of take with a grain of salt. I think it's just I could be, but in my head when they say when they put California in there, I'm thinking it's a place with a very wealthy people, and they have their situation tight and stress free, and that's why they're living longer. But I think the places like in Japan, just people, regular people traditional people who are doing traditional things who are living long. And I also think they don't give credit to places in Africa where people are living long, because even in the cities, there's people who are living in Africa in places you be like, oh, they got all these diseases, da, 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 da. And there's people who are living into their 90s on the regular, like, like on the regular. So, there's something to be said for that too, and also the records, the medical records of birth certificates and all that is kind of up in the air in some places in Africa too. So you gotta take that into account. Nah, man, no kids, not yet, or not that I know of. Not that I know of. You never know. Might run into some dude look like me one day and be like, "Dang, huh?" Like, hey, if that ever happened, if I ever ran into a kid, and especially in Asia somewhere, because I spent a lot of time there, or maybe even Europe, and the kid looked like me, I'm like, "Hey, man, I might be your daddy, but don't blame me. Blame your mama. She the one that ran this game. You know, blame your mama. Like we can start from here." I thought about that before, especially with Asia. I was like, hey, you know, you need to have a long sit down with your mom. But nah, I ain't got no kids, man. Appreciate it, man. It's not even really a set, man. I'm just in the spot, and I just finding the angle, and put up this little light. But it does speak to the trials of being a traveling one, just traveling in general. You're always going to have to find something that works for you, whether it's food situation. And this is without YouTube. This is not it. This is just regular. If you're always traveling, perpetual traveling, and not really settling in a place, the hardships are food situations, uh, workout situation, right? So if you into working out, doing something, uh, going out, meeting people, those type of things are things you always have to kind of redo until you start going to places on a more regular basis. So like Colombia for me is kind of like in between. It's not as familiar as parts of Africa or parts of Europe, um, but Colombia is getting to be like a nice little base for me. Uh, I would like to, when I think about it, I don't know how many places I would like to put in that circle. But I don't know. I still think I need to travel some more and figure out a few more places. Places you hear about, like South Africa, that seem to have a lot of the a lot of the things a person would want, especially a traveler. Like they got decent prices on lodging, decent prices on food, good infrastructure so you can get around. Parts of the country, different cities are relatively safe. Um, I'm excluding Johannesburg on that because I know Johannesburg, but then again, there's parts of Johannesburg that are pretty safe from what I hear. But I know in general, there's a lot of crime out there, and it's at a different level from what I'm hearing. But Cape Town, um, for the most part, seems pretty safe. You know, but yeah. So those are. I don't know. I just went off on a tangent about that because I was thinking about that earlier. All right, let me get to some of these other questions though. Chrissy, what's up? What's up? Out in California. I know the weather's probably decent as always. Yeah, yeah. This popular African YouTuber, Iron Mauer. Yeah. Uh yeah, my grandparents in Africa lived in their 90s. Both of them. My my granddad, I think I want to say he was 103 or 5 or something like that. I remember he had some eyesight issues starting in his 80s because I remember he came and visited us in the states, and my dad hooked him up with a doctor, went there, um, but it just kept getting worse. Macular degeneration of the eyes. I think that's probably hereditary, to tell you the truth. But yeah, but he was sharp until probably the last couple years, last maybe three 3 or 4 years. Um, and then at that point, I think it was just like you can tell he was just annoyed by a lot of stuff, things like that. But my grandma too, she lived to about 96. Yeah, and it's crazy too because they never saw doctors. They never- Both of them. So my grandparents in the states both died. My granddad on my mom's side died at 80 something, like early 80s, I think 80. And grandma, she was a little overweight. You know, they're from Carolina, North Carolina. So, the I would say the culture of the food there is the difference, right? Because they were heavier for their size than my grandparents in Africa were always thin. Grandparents in the States were even by today's standards, they weren't even that big. They were small, but for their body size and for the time, I think, they were used to doing farm work too. So in I guess the 70s, probably when all the farm work went away and, they're not doing as much, I think, the diet just starts to turn on you. You needed a high calorie diet before for all that work in the field. If you know anything about the South and the States before the 70s, if your parents grew up in any time before the 70s in the South, they was working them fields. A lot of them that went up north, they went up north to get away from field work. They went up to Chicago, New York, DC, all those places. They all was escaping field work. That's it. It's as simple as that. But I don't know. It's a crazy thing though. Like Africa, I'm not gonna say they didn't have it hard work either, but I would say it was more of a relaxed pace, and the diet is an older diet, right? So people are still eating the same things even today. You look at fufu, akume, banku, all that type of stuff. If you've been spent time in West Africa, you know what I'm talking about. You think those recipes are new? You think those things are any of that, any part of that is no less than 100 years old, 200 years old? You know what I mean? Because all it is uh, cornmeal or yams and the stuff that grows around there, and it still grows there. So think about it, like you had multiple generations eating the same thing. Body's getting used to it. Body knows what to do with it. People know how. You have certain side effects going on. People know you ate too much of this. Oh, you did that. You had too much plantains. Oh, you constipated. You know what I mean? Like they know. You know what I mean? So it's like the need for going to doctors and stuff like that was back then. I would say it was a lot less important. Today, I think even in Africa, you have a lot of new things introduced into the diet that people are new to. A lot more sugar, right? Uh, I'll just tell this one story about my grandma in Africa, and then I'll move on to another question. But The refined sugar. I love sugar, right? I'm trying to get rid of my sweet tooth by eating stuff like this, like limes and fruits throughout the day. But she had perfect teeth, bro. In her 90s, perfect teeth. Never been to a dentist, never had a cavity, cracked bones. Eat chicken, bow, bust the bones, blah, blah, blah. And she liked chocolate. So sometimes when I come from Germany or whatever, she'd be like, "Hey, bring some of that chocolate they got there." All right, cool. Grandma wants some chocolate. I come down, I come down with some chocolate. Like maybe I don't know, like packs of them, right, bro? She would hold on to them joints, put them in the fridge, and the kids, the neighborhood kids would come by and she needs something. She tell them to do something, and they come back, they do it. She break them off a little square of chocolate, and hook them up. You know what I mean? I was like, what is going on? But then I started learning like that's how uh that's actually about how much you need. And she would eat when she ate, she'd eat like small pieces, like just like that. Small pieces of chocolate, maybe I don't know. I don't even think she'd eat more than three in a day, you know? Um One thing I know she did a lot of was cola nut. So there's a nut, Coca-Cola, right? But the cola nut grows in West Africa and it's a stimulant and it's pretty bitter. It tastes, it's not something, the only reason you eat it is because it's a little bit of a stimulant and it might have some other health effects, which I was talking to somebody a couple years ago and he was explaining it has a lot of health effects. Like it helps you sleep better, even though it's a stimulant, helps you sleep better in the day, increases blood flow, all of this type of stuff that you don't normally hear about. And you can buy that thing in traffic while you're while you while you're stopped at a roadside. Like, oh, cola, and you just get it, and it's you just start chewing on it right there. You might take the little skin off the outside, but you start chewing on it right there, and you really don't need a small nut like that. I don't think you can eat the whole thing in one day. I think if you take two bites of it, you're good. But yeah, that's what she used to do. Yeah, so yeah, I hope Marwa's grandpa lives to 104. You know what I mean, or longer. Because we need those people around, man. The stories they can tell you, the experiences they can share with you are different. It's a different time they were living in. So, um, do I prefer traveling alone or with friends? I mean, it depends. I like both, actually. Sometimes I like to link up with people. You know what I mean? So if I got some friends somewhere, a lot of times I don't want to be, coordinating the same flights and all that. It's kind of like I don't know. It's different. It's not like when you're in the same place and you're trying to coordinate going to the club. You're like, all right, you ready, man? Yeah, let's go. Bang, you out. It's more than that. It's like, all right, what ticket you getting? They get that ticket, blah blah blah. I mean, if it works out smoothly, no problem. You know what I mean? We get on the same flight. You know, but that's another thing too. You gotta sit beside them. Sometimes you don't want to sit beside your peoples. You know what I mean? You just want to be on the flight, be up there. But I guess it depends, man. It depends where you're going, how long the flight is, and what the seating situation is like. If I had it like that and I can fly first class all the time, and my boy or whoever is over there in first class, and we just over there like, yo, check out this movie, sipping on champagne while you in there, that'd be cool. Or a private flight, that'd be even better. But yeah, it don't matter. I mean, I tell you the truth, I think I like linking up on the ground better. Sometimes it is cool to travel together because you can watch each other's back as far as situations in the airport, or especially if you got linking and going on. If it's a long flight, it could work out. Yeah, it could work out if you're flying overseas somewhere. Um, the most I've actually had a flight with 40 of us from around the way in Maryland, DC area, and we flew 40 of us flew to Houston. Now that was ridiculous. That was so play before the movie came out. That was so play for real. Yo, dudes was handed. Somebody brought on a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was handed that joint over me. Oh Lord. I mean the whole joint, as soon as you got on there, you was like, as soon as you sat down, you was like, oh, that was, if any of y'all in here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stewardess had to come and get my boy who was the lead of the party. It's like, hey, can you come to the front? We gotta talk to you, right? So he went to the front, talked to the stewardesses, and then he came back. He's like, hey man, stewardess said y'all gotta calm down with all that cursing. We're like, man, fuck you, man. It was an immediate breakout midair. Like, man, sit your ass down. Like, damn. He's like, nah, for real though. There's kids on here. We're like, oh, okay, you lucky, bro. You lucky. We about to go in on you. Man, that was a good trip. All in all, the flight, the time in Houston, yeah, that was a good one. Shout out to my boy Steve for hooking that one up. Great trip. I'm in Colombia right now, man. Yeah, it's a good time. I don't know. I feel comfortable, man, in Colombia for the most part. I mean, it's can't stay here forever. Well, you know what I mean. Can't stay here too much longer this time, but I think Colombia will always be a place where I'll come back and spend some time. Long as things don't change too much, long as things stay secure, um, and price wise, they stay in a relatively decent zone. Then I'll probably always spend time in sometime throughout the year in Colombia. Ooh. Um, I mean, there's a lot of great camera stands, a lot of good stuff out there. I would say you just need to, whatever camera setup you have, just take it to a camera store or Best Buy, whatever, and try it out. Like they make, the high dollar ones are carbon fiber, and they're great because they're light and very capable. Um, but the price is ridiculous, bro. Carbon fiber stand, I think, is gonna be like $600, which for a camera or even that's a camera or even a lens. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you get some decent lenses for that money. Um, yeah, so I wouldn't, unless you got it like that. If you got it like that, go ahead and do it, man. But if you heard that number and you was like me, yeah, either I don't think it's worth it for my needs. I mean, you can get the aluminum version. Aluminum's not that heavy. It's actually a nice balance of weight for me because it's like, all right, I'm carrying this thing. Imagine you got your tripod out and then something happens, like you get attacked by wildlife or something. You can maybe use that aluminum tripod as some type of get off me device, get up off me device. Yeah. A glass of wine vibes. Yeah, I got a I got a lime. That's all I'm doing. A lime and water. I don't even have my music playing, do I? I should have my brand music going. One of them. Let me see. I was trying to mess with it earlier, and I just don't like the fact that I can't hear it. It doesn't play through my speakers anymore, and I'm gonna keep it down. Let me know if it's too much. I'm gonna keep it right there because I don't want it to be you know going over. And that's I call this song "Flying Angels." My boy my boy Terry made this beat. It's one of the beats he made. I always use it in here. It's one of the ones I always use here. I use it for some of my videos. Um, yeah, but he's been making beats for a while, man. It's like a hobby of his. He threw me some more. He threw me some more beats, like maybe a couple weeks ago, like three more. I haven't found a place for him just yet, but I probably will. Let me see. Let me see what other questions we got. Go back to these comments. Jesus. I see C's in the chat. What's good? What's good? Let me run down these comments right quick in order. Cause I think I was talking too much, man. I had some questions that sent me on a rant. Okay. Yep, that's correct. I'm in Colombia. Okay, y'all got some. Okay, y'all supposed to get some rain there soon in LA. All right. Huh? What? Let's stop playing. Ho. C's, what you talking about? Hold on. You said Ace was talking on his live, hiding on his side of the building, telling his crowd he said he was Call of Duty MVP. uh, yo, see me when it comes to Call of Duty, you can ask some of my little cousins slash nephews, right? Like I crush in Call of Duty Mobile, bro. And don't hey, I'm the best helicopter pilot in the game. Like don't if you playing on my team and there's a helicopter and you in it, just come land it where I am, get out, let me drive. Cause you don't know what you're doing. I do. You know what I mean? I come down low, I fly through the woods, my dude. You know what I mean? I be flying through the trees. You ask why? Because when they hear it, they be looking up and they can't see nothing. They just hear it. We come through. And if my team is on point, they jump out, slaughter. I land right in the spot, get right back in. And don't sleep. I'll get out the helicopter and throw you one too. So yeah. And if there ain't no helicopters around, I'm still chopping them down. Call of Duty, man. Ace was over there. He wasn't even at the level to play with me and C's. C's be throwing down too. You know what I mean? Like he a worthy teammate. He a worthy teammate in Call of Duty. Um, but Ace, the game wouldn't even let him play with us. Like, yo, these dudes above your level, man. You can't get in, bro. the, the game was like, nah, you can't. They up here, like you all with the YouTube. They up here, just down there. You know what I mean? So he gotta get some reps in first, and then he can come mess around with us. Okay, that's a good one. Let's see. Huh? You planning on visiting one of these countries, Japan, Thailand, or Germany? Which would you pick? It depends on a few things. They're all great places. All great places. Only one of them is economical. And also depends on how long you stay there, and depends where you're coming from. If you're coming from the States, Japan and Thailand are both a long flight. That's not the cheapest flight, and I don't think there's ever really that many deals to get over there. Depending on where you're coming from in the States, if you're coming from West Coast, maybe I don't know, to Japan, but Japan is not cheap. Japan is pretty expensive. Lodging, everything is small. So if you're used to having a big hotel room or a big Airbnb for, something reasonably priced, you're not going to get that in Japan. Um, and you shouldn't be expecting that if you go to Japan, to tell you the truth. But you should know things cost a lot in Japan. Thailand is very economical. You can get decent prices depending on where you are in Thailand. And Germany's kind of like in between as far as price. It's not crazy. Um, as far as lodging goes, the rooms probably aren't as big as the U.S. standard of rooms, but they're not they're not Japan small either. Um, and then also Germany is easier to get to, especially coming from the East Coast of the U.S. Or if you're coming from, yeah, I'm assuming you're coming from the U.S. But if you're coming from the U.S., Germany's easy to get to. Uh, a lot of people in Germany understand English, and the younger people actually will speak pretty good English. Older people, a lot of older people, they will understand English. They haven't been. I would say depending on where you are, like if you're just going into a bakery or something like that, you give them a second, they might understand what you're saying, but they might not be as because speaking a language takes practice. Even if you understand everything somebody's saying and you're not used to speaking it, it takes that practice. So you won't see you might run into that over there. But all in all, Germany is a nice mix of everything. It's a depending on how long you want to stay there. I just wouldn't go there right now during the winter. Springtime, yes. Summertime, even yes. But I would say a good time to go to places like Germany would be April, May, June. Because that weather is good. People are, they got the good days coming out. And people getting out and stretching their wings again, and the vibe is good. In Europe, all over Europe. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, man. All right, yeah, I got a little conversation going. Let me see. Yeah, she's be holding it down, man. She's be supporting the us YouTubers. I guess I'm a YouTuber now, y'all. I don't like to call myself a YouTuber because I feel like I'm still just a dude making videos, messing around on YouTube, messing around with editing and all that. Yeah, man. I I done lost. I'm lost now. It sounds like a lot of fun and drama. I gotta hurry up get to the okay, we almost at the bottom. Traveling with 40 people. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It was fun. I mean, I was a lot younger then. Um, yeah, it was a good time. I can't even talk about some of that stuff. Uh, what languages do I speak? So, I tell you the truth, I feel like I'm just learning them all. I don't feel like I speak none of them. I just speak enough to get some things done. Right. I'm gonna talk about this for a minute because I got a friend out here who's learning English. She just started 3 weeks ago, and she's on it like every day. She takes a class. They do Zoom, and she'll have her phone out. She was here a few days ago, and she'll have her phone, and they'll have a Zoom class going on her phone with the documents on there. Some of y'all probably know this stuff is normal, but me, I'm not in Zoom calls or doing anything like that. But her instructor obviously is I think he's Colombian too, so they're speaking, explaining things, and then going over in English. And so she's practicing like every day now. And she was asking me about different ways to learn. And I'm saying this because this is what I do when I'm learning language. Like I try to get the basics down, like counting numbers up to 10 and then to 100 and then certain things like where's the bathroom, how much is this, how are you, greetings, all that basic realm of human interaction that you're going to do with people. That's all I try to get in the beginning. Then after that, I might try to go into things I'm interested in. Or I used to. Now I'm kind of just floating around it. But when I'm actually dedicating to learning a language, I'll do things I'm interested in. So, for instance, when I was learning French, I was actually taking a French course when I was doing all that, and I'm a bad student. I don't like sitting in a classroom, even though I was taking French classes. I told the teacher straight up, man, don't give me no homework because I ain't doing it. Like anything you want to give me for homework, let's just do right here in the class. And I be falling asleep in the class sometimes. But long as you show up, some of that is gonna seep in. I would watch and listen to French movies as I'm going to sleep. Some people are like, oh, that don't work. It worked for me, motherfucker. That's all I can tell you. It worked for me because I was pushing in as much French as I could. I think I went from pretty much zero to maybe I would say like 50%, right? 50% of what people said in French I could understand and converse with, unless they got into some deep philosophical subject, which you should never do if you're learning any language, because it's just a bunch of, how can I say it, emotions and non-literal type of things going on that you ain't gonna never really use again, unless that's your work. You do some type of work like that. But so I would say stick to the basics, like purchasing things, um, greetings, polite stuff. Like I try to stay away from curse words and slang as much as possible because they just detour you. They take away. It takes too much time just to try to say that, to try to sound cool. I'm already sounding cool just trying to speak the basic stuff. So anyway, I would say what languages I'm practicing: Spanish, French, German. Those are the ones that I can say I can dabble in, and I'm still continue to learn to a degree. Um, I'm not. You don't see me actively with a book anywhere or anything, but I might actually, if I spend more time in Latin America this year, I might actually just take a Spanish course, maybe even if it's just a week or 2 weeks, and just try that out. Yeah, French is. I think French right now is probably my strongest, although my understanding of it is the strongest. It's been a while since I've really had to speak it, since the last time I was there in France during this fall. But that's another one. I feel like for me, Spanish and French are the most useful languages for me right now. Uh, Unless I started spending more time in Germany, or if I went to Brazil, started spending some more time there, then I would. For Portuguese, I would probably need to take a course just to knock the ice off the top. Probably take like a couple week course if I knew I was gonna spend a lot of time there. But if not, it wouldn't be worth it. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you know me through YouTube, of course you see me as a YouTuber. But um, I don't know. I feel like it's not a bad thing. It's just in my own head. I don't really. I guess I'm getting there. I'm getting to that. Tay the YouTuber. Actually, my friend Valentina, she's been in a lot of my Colombian videos. She called me that like shoot like 2 years ago, and I was like, huh? What you talking about, girl? Yeah, Duolingo. The only thing I don't like about Duolingo is you actually have to be, in the app. Like you have to look at the app and press buttons on the app and do all that stuff, right? The one I actually like, and I know a lot of people probably think it's boring, but it's just Pimsleur because all they're doing is you can be driving or doing anything else and listen to Pimsleur. And actually have it downloaded for Spanish. I think I haven't listened to it since like season or lesson 7 or something like that. But it's a good, even if you already speak a language decently, it's good to like just have that going because they're talking about conversations and then they give you space to repeat it. So you can be, they'll be like, "Hola, cómo está? Todos bien? Sí, todos bien." It's like a conversation between two people, and then they'll give you space for you to go in and repeat it. So you could be doing anything. You can be cooking, you can be editing, and practicing at the same time. Where I feel like apps like Duolingo, you need to be doing this the whole time. And Pimsleur, they say has been around a long time, and that method of learning just by hearing and repeating, even if you don't know, they don't have to break down what's being said uh, in English. Just by doing that, you're learning the rhythms of another language. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, I hear people who are just learning their first language, and they'll tell you like, "Oh no, but you gotta sit down and look at this book, bruh." Do babies ever learn their language from a book? And people want to be like, "Oh well, that's babies. Babies' brains are different." Yeah, they're different, and they babies are stupid. like as cute as they are, I love little kids, I love babies, but let's get it right. Like they have their comprehension on a lot of things is slower, right? Think about this. As a adult, if somebody's telling you something in a language and you hear it and you hear the same thing over, like imagine you walk into a restaurant, you hear the same thing over and over again. Da-da-da-da. It's like a certain rhythm, like after a while you're gonna be like, I don't even know the word she said, but I already know she's talking about, oh, where would you like to sit? Here's the menu. Would you like anything to drink? You ain't even got to know the words. I mean, you can know that's what she said because it's always the same when you're in this context, right? So I think a lot of times the whole classroom setting of learning the language is just slow. It's just slow. It's just impeding the process for most of language learning. But it's profitable for classes, right? Like you have for businesses to sell you something, they do it like that. And the good ones are actually structured to get you out of the classroom setting. Like you start off there, you learn the basics, and then they get you out in the real world. There's some courses, classes, that are like that, and they're more engaging, they're more fun, and you learn faster, and you can continue your learning after that course is done on your own because they taught you the method. But some people are stuck in like this whole college, high school, classroom mindset of learning a language, and that's not the way to go for anything. Actually, to learn anything, imagine doing a YouTube class, sitting down and like, yo, let's just make a dang video. Show me how to make this video. Um, nah, YouTube ain't my main income, man. Nah, YouTube is not the main income. I don't like to talk about income and stuff like that too often, just because uh, people to people, man. So if I know you for real, then we talk about that type of stuff. But uh, yeah, Pimsler, Pimzler, I believe. Pimsler. Let me see. Maybe I can just add it to the stream. Let's see. I'm over here looking at flights. But let's see. I think that's the dude. Yeah, he was an American linguist, Paul Pimsler. Let's pull up the website. Yeah, that's it right there. Speak a new language, intermediate level in just 30 days. Scientifically proven. That's what they say, scientifically proven. So you know it's real, right? Gotta believe the science. Why did the page just pop to this? That's crazy. Decline. So let's go through the website. Learn to speak a language. Don't just study it. Yeah. The four secrets to his method: anticipation. By anticipating the answer to each question, your brain is actively learning and developing new neural connections. Graduated interval recall, scientifically sequenced and proven schedule, which moves the items you learn from short term to long term memory. They talk some real stuff here. Organic learning. You learn your new language using conversational exchange, just as you learned your first language, and with added benefits of a method scientifically proven to accurately learn in the adult brain. Core vocabulary. Pimsleur Message teaches you the most common words, grammatical structures, so you can start speaking immediately in a meaningful way. That right there, the last part they said right there. So you can start speaking immediately in a meaningful way. I don't care about all the other stuff. I want the most common words. Because they say in English, if you use a lot of vocabulary, they say I think it's only like maybe 300 words people with a lot of vocabulary are using per day. And I know most of us, it's probably half of that. It's probably 150. So, and I would say you're probably excluding like numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, bro, this is what you want. You want something like that. You want that Pimsleur method, man. You can do this. You can be on this site, or not the site. You can download the app. They got an app for the phone. You can download the app, have it in your Bluetooth, be in the gym, working out, do whatever. If you're repeating it, you might look a little silly in the gym if you're repeating something constantly, unless it's an empty gym or you don't care. But you go on a run, something like that, you can get your reps in with this. So that's what I like about it. And I need to use it again because I got it. I just need. It's been probably like now. I downloaded the Spanish one. So yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, that's dope, man. You've been using it for about a year and a half. Yeah, I would say I don't know how much you actually practice with a Spanish speaking person or if you're traveling to Latin America and practicing it. But I would say that's the real test, right? And I could even see, you practicing with somebody practicing with Pimsleur, but you're just listening and you're not really speaking it because of whatever. Maybe you're in a work environment and you're just listening and you're not getting those reps in of moving your mouth and tongue in that language because that's a real thing. I was explaining to my friend who's learning English the other day. She what was it? What word was she? I think it was something about a word with th, right? But like through or something like that. And she was like shortening it. She wasn't pronouncing the th, and I had to exaggerate, like put your tongue out here and do it like that. But that's not natural for her, and maybe other Spanish speakers. I don't know. Um, but even like your, you know, saying the Y like that, or a word with a Y like that, like how was your day? They want to say, she want to say how's your day? Almost like the J, like the Spanish J. And it's just one of those things that takes some practice. And I know there's stuff like that when I'm speaking Spanish, when my pronunciation is terrible, and it's because of that. Like, you got to practice those movements. Um, where French is really like that. Uh, you can't even you can't get by without trying to twist your mouth a certain way to get the word out. All right, let me get through some of these other questions. Yeah, Pimza. Babies are stupid, man. I'm just saying, but we love them though. You know what I mean? Like they cute, so we deal with them. That's like they engineered. We're engineered like that. Babies are stupid and they helpless. They can't do nothing, but they so damn cute that we look through all that. Sometimes they stink. You know what I mean? We look through all that because they so cute and they make cute sounds sometimes if they're not making evil sounds. And we deal with them. You know what I mean? We're engineered to want to take care of them and to help them get smarter and stronger and all of that. That's what we do. That's what a good human does. But you got to realize where they coming from. You don't want that baby to stay a baby. You know what I mean? Even as cute as it is, you can't have them stay in a baby for, past the baby period. I don't know. I consider once a kid is about 4 years old, you ain't really a baby no more. You know. After that, especially if it's a boy, like all right, we got you can't be crying every time you fall and looking back and being like, who looking? And then you start crying. Like, nope, get up, dust it off, man. Let's go. Start talking to him like a real human. Some people want to be treating them like babies until they 8, 10 years old. You're like, that's a handicap. Moms do that. I mean, I think it's in their nature, right? Like but I would say most moms, maybe not all. There's some out there who know you don't want this boy growing up and being a big baby. But most moms, I think it's in their nature to keep baby in them. And even if the dad is not around, you better get him around some uncles, cousins, older cousins, or something, so you can get some male discipline in there. All right, let me get this other screen off here. All right, yeah, check out Pimsa, man. Huh. Okay, so it's 21 a month. I didn't know they had a subscription plan. I think I just paid once for Spanish. I hope it ain't subscription. I'm about to cancel that joint. If it is subscription, maybe I'm talking about something else. Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. Clever. Think they clever? I don't know. Okay, It's conversations or lessons. 10 out of 10 recommended with teachers from Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela, and a few others. What are we talking about? Guess we talking about that course. How many grandchildren I have? I ain't got no grandchildren. I better not have no grandchildren. I ain't even got no children. Shoot. Who knows? I guess I could technically I could have grandchildren, right? If I had, but dang, that'd be that'd be a stretch. Nah, I guess if I had a kid when I was in my 20s, yeah, then maybe grandchildren might be possible. Hey, Jennifer, she made a sad face. She makes some sad faces. Oh, smile. Oh, crying faces. Okay, crying, laughing faces. No, I ain't got no grandkids. That'd be crazy though. I do get along with kids though, just cause I don't know. I got some younger cousins that I don't know. Like they, it's easy for me when they boys. It's easy for me to communicate with them because I don't know. It's like, especially young boys, they recognize, like, how can I say it? They recognize how they should be, right? So with certain things, if you're talking about something and you're not being overly bearing or something like that, like you can get them to do things as long as they want to be like, all right, for a boy who wants to be a strong boy or a man, I already know how to talk to them. You know what I mean? I know how to talk to them and how can I say reason with them a lot of times because it's very simple. I'm talking about simple logic. Like for instance, one of my nephews, he's the youngest one, and he would get on a basketball court and play. But he was always real aggressive. But he the smallest one, so he get out there and he didn't know what he's doing. He fall and the ball hit him right in the face. Bow, like the ball basketball bounce up, bow, hit him in the face, and he look around. He ready to cry. he ready to cry. But I'm right on him, bro. I'm like, hey. You gonna cry? Get off the court, man. But if I know it sting a little bit, but hey, rub it off. You can have a little tear or something. Rub it off. Get back out there, man. If you want to play. If not, you can sit over here and make noise. But you can't be on the field. You can't be on the court like that. You know what I mean? And sometimes just those little things are needed. They already know. They already know what the deal is, but they just don't know what to do. It's like, hey, it's okay. You got hit, even if you tearing a little bit or you need to take a break, rub it out. I know it's sting, you know what I mean? But you're okay. You're not bleeding. If you were, we take care of it, but you're good. It's gonna go away in a few minutes and you'll be wanting to play again. So just take a step off, just take a second, get right, get back out there. And I don't know. I think a lot of kids today, if they don't have a somebody, I won't even say a male figure, just somebody who's going to keep it real with them like that. They'll spin off onto the other side of you know wanting a bunch of sympathy and stuff like that, which is never productive. I can't think of one situation in life where you wanting somebody to give you sympathy is ever beneficial, ever a beneficial place to be in. Um, I'm not saying you got to be a stone cold tough guy all the time, but just know that a lot of time you seeking sympathy, even you getting sympathy, is not what you need. So I just let them know like that. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to this other conversation. Yeah, okay. Thank. Nah, I ain't telling my age. I ain't telling them. Never tell my age. Okay. Uh, I would say That might be a future goal to do YouTube full time for a living. Um, Actually, I'm gonna say for a living, no, but maybe more full time. Uh, to have some supplemental income from YouTube would be great. I mean, right now I'm making a little bit of money. I'm talking about little. Actually, I don't even get money every month from YouTube. It's like every maybe 3, 4 months or something like that. So, but I've only been monetized since this summer, and I still need to pick up my pace of putting out videos, doing stuff like this, even with the lives. Speaking of that, let me see if I can go ahead and monetize this one while we on the live, because that's another thing too. Sometimes you gotta YouTube, but try to take advantage of you. It should just be like every time you upload or you start something, this should be like, hey, you in the pay program. You want this thing to make some money? It should be right up front. But YouTube, they'll mess around with you, let you let you go through and have to do the work. We'll turn that thing on right now. Um, but yeah, that's one thing about all of this is it's a very the good thing about YouTube is you can do it all yourself. You don't need a lot. You don't need a big production. You don't need a whole team like some people might try to do. You don't need all of that. You just need, you know, maybe a few little lights or something like this, some little light situations and you good. You don't need a crazy amount of equipment. You don't need to spend even as much as I've spent. You don't need to spend that on cameras, gear, any of that. You can just go with the phone and do it like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's am I doing a cleanse? Why am I sucking limes and sipping water? I don't know, man. Like you just, every once in a while you gotta do healthy stuff every once in a while. I was eating a falafel earlier. I think I had pizza the other night, Papa John's, you know. It's just you can't have, how can I say this? You can't have your cake and eat it too, man. You can't be out here, traveling, doing all this stuff, having a great time, uh, doing everything, and then just think you can eat whatever, all the time. So sometimes I will just, I might even not eat. I think today I didn't even eat breakfast. So the first thing I ate was a falafel. It's mainly beef and chicken and vegetables in there. And I think I started eating that right before this live, but had coffee. I had coffee and one little pastry, and then yeah, lime water. They say it helps with a lot of stuff, man. I told you about Dr. Berg's YouTube channel, right? I think he talked about limes in there at one point, and he was saying how does this thing focus? He was saying how limes is really good, and I like eating limes anyway. Like I would always, if I got a drink, I would always eat the lime or lemon or anything like that if it had it in there. But yeah, uh, so you can. I have Google Fi. That's what I use most of the time for uh, my phone when I'm traveling abroad. But Google Fi changed up something this year, and they made it so you have to be, or maybe it just changed it for me. Maybe it was always like that, and I just never hit that limit. But you have to be in the states for a consecutive 3 months. So, and then I knew this before. If you're out of the states for 3 months straight, they suspend your service, and then as soon as you come back, as soon as you touch a U.S. tower, it's back on. And so I was out for about 3 months, more than 3 months. And when I returned from Africa back to the States, it was back on, blah, blah, blah. But I was only in the States for a few weeks, and then I'm out again. And when I left and I came to Colombia, it wasn't working. And I was like, yo, this ain't cool. What's going on? So I emailed them and it was like, yeah, you got to be in the States for a consecutive 3 months. I was like, huh? When was that? When did that start? I was like, all right, never mind then. So I just went ahead and activated a chip here. I already had one here and got it going. But there's a lot of what do you call it? eSIM companies out now. There's one called Ola or something like that. I forgot the name of it. But you can go to their website or even go to your phone, pay certain amount depending on the data plan you want, whatever. And they're mainly just data only SIMs. So if you're using WhatsApp or that's what you should be using if you're traveling. You should be using WhatsApp, you know. So you use your WhatsApp, you get that data SIM, and then boom, you're up and running. Or you can go and register with a company in that country and get it going. You know, trying to. My friend is sending me. Uh, hmm. Supposed to go to some thing tonight. I think I gotta buy tickets for it pretty soon. Let me see. What's today's date? Is today the 11th? Let's see. Look at this right quick. 1 second. Today is the 11th. Yeah. Thought that was vodka and lime. See, that's what happens when you hang out at the casino too long, man. Everything clear you think is you know, some type of alcoholic beverage. No, I don't actually don't drink that much. When I go out, if you see me out in a spot at night, I might have a beverage with me, but I might not. Might just be water I'm drinking up in there. I'll do that too. Okay. A bowl of cherries. Now that sounds like some type of cleanse. A bowl of cherries for dinner. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just doing this lime for now. Limes are cheap. They say they have a lot of health benefits. So favorite city in Colombia. Now I'm starting to think it's Medellin. Um, if you'd asked me that even 2 months ago, I'd have been like, I would have probably said Bogota. Although I know most people don't like Bogota, and I know why, because of the weather. Um, it's more of a, it has a more of a grungy city feel. Um, but I still like Bogota because of the fact that it's, how can I say it? It's a prices are definitely cheaper in Bogota than they are in Medellin. Like you can stay in the good parts of Bogota, which there are multiple good parts of Bogota, right? It's not just one. There's a whole region. The north side, they got Zona T, they got Eastern Queen, they got Financial District, they got uh, the area close to the airport or closer to the airport. I forgot. I don't know if that's Envigado, But they got a lot of good areas in Bogota that you can get out, depending on what you're looking for, right? Um, but they got a lot of areas that are safe and well kept and all that. In between, you might run into some dustier areas, so to speak. Uh, but it's easy to get around. It's cheap. It's it's I don't know. It's just I do like Bogota for that. It has a lot going on, everything like that. But Medellin has a coziness to it. It's just you hear it. It's just like it just massages you. Don't want to let you go. It's like, oh yeah, every day you walk out is it's the right temperature. You can walk out like this, and it's in February, but you can walk for an hour, and minus hitting hills, you won't really sweat that much. So yes, there are hills, and if you do walk up hills, you will be sweating. But if you're walking down the hills or on some flat area or something like that, or you're just chilling, you're not going to be hot. And it really is the city of eternal spring. They call Guadalajara that as well. Although I feel like Guadalajara gets a little bit cooler, maybe like 5 to 10 degrees cooler some days than here. Guadalajara, Mexico, that is. But yeah, I think Medellin is a pretty dope mix of things to do, decent sized city. Um, the Paisa, friendliness, people. Um, yeah, I don't know. The only thing right now is there's a lot of foreigners here in Medellin, so the prices for a lot of things are high. Um, Maybe that'll change in the future. I don't know. As the world continues to open up, I don't know. I think the secret is out about Medellin. People know, and people are here and they're spending money. So I doubt that'll. I doubt that it'll fall too far back as far as price. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Yeah, today I just wanted to touch base with y'all and do a live and you know stay pushing the YouTube algorithm a little bit. Try to get it to look at Tay International's channel, get some things going. Let me ask this question: If I was going to buy property internationally, where would it be? Um, Probably Colombia, maybe Mexico, um, maybe even France. But I don't know I don't know the tax situation there in France, and I know they can be. It might be a big mistake, but I got family there. I could ask them about that. But if I did it in France, it wouldn't be in Paris. Nowhere near Paris. Cool, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm just trying things, see how they work out. It's yeah, I think sometimes the lives need to be. I think for me, it's an easy setup. It's easy to come on like this, talk like this. Long as my internet is good, long as things work well, I probably should do something like this at least once a week, just to keep people abreast of what I'm thinking about doing. And then also too, like maybe even get ideas from you guys of like what you would like to see. Um, Maybe things in the realm of, certain attractions, right? Certain types of videos or things like that. Getting ideas from the community. Like, what about this? What about that? Especially from the people I know who check in. Like Jennifer, I've seen you here multiple times. Chrissy, obviously sees. Ja Ford. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, it's I think we can probably start doing some, what they call that, uh, brainstorming. Yeah, brainstorming of ideas of what to do. But I have a few videos on deck need to be put together. Still got one more from Africa, at least one more. I think one more full one, and then who knows? I might put out something along the way that it's basically like some missing parts that I didn't get in before, that didn't really fit in before, but I might jam them together and make something of that. But I already am piecing something together from Medellin, uh, at least one full video from Medellin, maybe two that I've already got going right now. So we'll have to see. Okay, let's see. I would like to see you be adventurous in the places you go. Adventurous in what way? Adventurous how? Talking about like skydiving or something? You want to see me skydiving? Yeah. Adventurous. Yeah, I mean it's. I think when I do South Africa and parts of Africa, I want to do some safari type stuff. I definitely want to do that because I don't know, cliff jumping. I don't think I'm doing no cliff jumping, bro. Skydiving, I might do because I've done it before, and it's you have more things in your control. You can make mistakes in skydiving and still work it out because you got time. Cliff jumping, you jump off, even bungee jumping. I don't like the idea of that because there's nothing in your control with bungee jumping. They tie the rope, they tie the bungee on you, sit there, and then bang, and then hopefully it catches you. You come up. Hopefully it catches you again. You come up, and then what? They gotta reel you up or lower you down. You don't even control that. You don't control nothing. So if I'm be falling like that, you can swing, and I guess bungee jumping, you should be jumping off a bridge or something. So when you swing back and forward, you don't hit anything. But cliff jumping, I mean, I've jumped off a cliff before into water a couple times. I think we even did that on one of Ace's videos, right? We when we was in Sand Hill, Colombia, we did that, and I don't know. It's like you do that a few times, jumping off a cliff into the water. It gets a little old. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The safari is coming. Safari is coming. Um, I think I told y'all the story before that I've climbed Kilimanjaro before. I would say, it, and that was before I was doing YouTube, obviously. But I would say even that, you got to be creative with how you film that because you just can't be filming for 5 days straight. There'll be different moments. You get some B roll of you walking up, breaking camp, eating, closing camp, continuing on in the morning, getting up in the morning, that struggle, um, and all that. So, but I definitely want to do the safaris. I got a buddy, he just came back from South Africa doing something, and he was getting up close with the animals, and a lot of different animals. And I think all he was recording on was his phone. So I'm like, okay, nah, I gotta use at least something like this, at least this setup, get it out there, and you know, and try it out. So definitely stay tuned. We doing the safari. We doing that. Oh yeah, yeah. The beaches. I mean, I got some beach videos, the old ones. You can go check out Mexico, um, some stuff like that. I mean, just walking along the beach, doing stuff. But yeah, even the one in Puerto Escondido where I got my friend Alicia. She's she's explaining the sea turtle release that we do in Puerto Escondido. Um, we're by the beach, and there's some. I think that was it the same video. I think it's the same video. Yeah, where I got the drone and I'm flying around. Some dudes doing some bodyboarding competition. That was that was cool. That was outside. That was I think that was last year. Actually, I was just watching that video yesterday. But I definitely want to get back to the beach, do some more beach videos. Who knows? I might be doing a beach video pretty soon here. We'll see. Greetings from Ghana. Nah, I haven't been to Egypt yet. Haven't been to Egypt yet. I don't know. Like I want to see the pyramids. I want to see the pyramids, but I don't know for a while Egypt had a bad rap on they weren't letting people in with cameras for some reason. I think they've lifted that ban recently because so many people were. I think some big YouTubers seriously complained about it and made us think about it on their channel. So I think they're good with that now. But it just seems like it's a hard place to try to film. People are pretty camera adverse there for whatever reason. Um, so yeah, I don't. I would love to go there. I would love to see the pyramids, especially like this time of year. I heard the weather's good, but we'll see. Might make it there. But Africa's such a big place. A lot of stuff to see. A lot of different areas to see. Um, and I think with the right equipment, it can be done at a better quality than what I've seen most YouTubers doing. There's some ones out there that who crushing it and like they're doing it at like almost movie production level. But I would say in general, uh, you go to a place like Africa on a safari, you can't just be doing it with your phone or a GoPro or something small like that. You need to that the other part about that is you can't just buy a camera and a lens and think you're going to be good on this trip, because you got to learn how that thing works. And I think that's what I've been doing. We'll see. By the time I get there, hopefully I'll figure out something of what I'm doing. But let me see. Yeah, let me see. Let me see. I gotta buy these tickets, but she's not explaining to me where to buy it. Sent me a photo, but not a link, and the photo is cut off. But yeah, I might be doing some filming, some night filming tonight. But if there's music there, that makes it hard. Have to figure that out. Might just be taking a bunch of night B-roll for this one. Okay. Does vlogging when you travel take away from your enjoyment of the visit? Sometimes it can. Other times it actually enhances it. Let me explain. Um, Sometimes you travel as much as I've been traveling, you'll get comfortable in a place and you'll just be inside, maybe editing, doing whatever. Or you got this routine, like you go see this person, they come over, blah blah blah, and you chill, you do the relax thing. But then when you got a camera or you have a some content you need to produce or want to produce, then you actually go out. And then you go out and you know, you're like, "Oh, okay, cool, let me get this." And then you have a camera and sometimes people be like, "Oh, what's this dude doing with a camera?" Blah blah. But then other times people like, "Hey, blah," and they'll talk to you. Like for instance, even though I don't do a lot of video with the GoPro, although I need to do more with the GoPro actually. Um, the Oktoberfest video, I knew I wanted to film that because it's the first time Oktoberfest had been held in 2 3 years. So took the GoPro out there, was filming, doing that. But then if you watch the video, you'll see the interactions I had with a lot of people. It was mainly because I had the camera, and it wasn't even the basic GoPro, even though I should have just used the basic GoPro. I had the GoPro with this microphone on top most of the time. So it looked even crazier. But people took it in stride. People were cool with it, at least in that environment. Yeah. So yeah, I think it can take away from it if you let it. But then other times, and it depends on your setup too. Like the GoPro is going to be something the size of a GoPro is actually the perfect size, the perfect, I won't say form factor, but it is weird. Like sometimes you're holding a GoPro like this and people don't know that you're filming. I don't know. Like they they're like, "Oh, you feel like, yep, this is a camera that I've been holding in the middle of this, my arm been right here like this." And most of the time people are cool with it because the GoPro doesn't look intimidating or anything like that. When you got a bigger camera, sometimes you might see people ducking from you, but then sometimes people will get in and they want to be, especially when you turn the flippy camera or the flippy screen, the flippy, the flip screen their way so they can see themselves. And then they like, "Oh damn, that image look good." And they start looking at their image in the side of the camera. And so it's a different vibe like that. But yeah, but I mean, it's not a big thing for me. I can put I can go to a place and not film. You guys know, right? Like I cannot film for a while and just go out and experience a place on my own, and then maybe like, okay, maybe I'll come back and film this, do that. So sometimes it's good to do it like that. Sometimes it's good to actually go to the place the first time and film it because you have that new that 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 energy, right? Like, oh dang, I never knew this, and da da da. But if you've been there before, you kind of be, I won't say faking it, but you'd have to reproduce that excitement. I don't know. Okay, okay. Send me something on Instagram. Cool. Um, yeah. I don't know what you can send me on Instagram that's cool, but yeah, I'm around. I check stuff out. Yeah, if y'all don't know, my Instagram is what is Taynology. And that's my Instagram. If y'all haven't followed me on there, you can follow me there. Um, a lot of times I'm just posting reels there. Sometimes it's easier to do reels because I posted a reel a couple days ago, and it was had this song. It's time for some action, and it had a peacock stepping out. Right, that one I didn't edit it at all. I mean, actually, I cut off the last part because it was going into something else that wasn't even didn't tie in correctly. But Instagram threw that up to me. It was like, oh yeah, you want to make this a reel? And it was footage I took, right? But it's from, I think it was from a year ago or more than a year ago, and it just slammed it together real quick. put that peacock. I was like, oh, that's perfect for the peacock. Peacock was stepping a little bit too. He did a little two step back. It's time for some action. I was like, hey, that Drake tight just for that. But yeah, jeez, 700,000 pesos for a ticket. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. That don't make no sense. I don't think we're gonna be able to check out this event. That's a grip. I don't even know what's going on there. Let me see. That's like $150 for a ticket to some concert. Nah, I think we good. I think we good. We ain't doing that. There's plenty other stuff to do here in Medellin. 150 for an event. I'm not even sure I'd like the music. They probably won't even let me in with this camera either. Now that I think about it. But yeah, nah, man. I need to learn how to cut my own hair. Probably too late. If I cut my own hair, it's gonna be all off, which I've done that before a few times, especially if I'm in a hot place and I don't feel like dealing with all the, you know, getting up, brushing, curling, you know, or just trying to find a good barber. That's the worst part about traveling. And people recommend certain barbershops and you go there, not like not like the ones you used to back in the States. And then the ones back in the States now, I don't want to go to them because after COVID, they just started tripping, bro. $40. It just jacked up. It just went up. $40. I don't know how much y'all paying now for haircuts in the States. But I had a decent one last week or 2 weeks ago here in Medellin. Uh Ace and I went to a spot, it's I think it was like maybe $10 or something like that. It was in the zone where all the foreigners are, so it was not the cheapest place, but it wasn't, $10 ain't bad. It's, especially coming from the States. But dude did a decent job. Um, but even down here now, everybody's trying to add in the put the paint in your hair and everything for the lineup, and like, nah, bro, I don't want no paint that's gonna rub off on my pillows or come down and burn my eyes when I take a shower. Nah, I don't want none of that. Jesus, he said $60. Man, everybody need to learn how to cut their own hair. Thing is, it's like this weird thing in the states too about people climbing. You see some videos where people be talking about, oh, this dude pushed his hairline back and all that. It's like, yo, man, yeah. As you get older, you're gonna have receding hairlines. Most of us are. I do. I get that African gene, so the corners are gonna go. You know what I mean? They're already going. But and some of the girls in the states might even be tripping about it. But it's like, bruh, it don't make no sense. Like it don't make no sense. Yeah, I think it was $40 is like what I was what I was seeing in the DC area, Maryland. I think last time I got a cut was in Maryland, and they were. But I remember before, like when COVID was still brand new, I think the cuts in the DC area was still $20. And then I went to Cali and I was in San Diego, and this dude charged me 40, and the drink was trash. Man, I felt like kicking him in the nuts. Not for not having the barber skills, but for charging 40. I was like, man, yo, you ain't even got barber skills. Like all you did was take off my hair and trim it up on the side. Yeah, so it's the thing is like I don't consider myself a cheapskate, right? Like I'm not always looking for the best deals on everything, um, on certain things. You know, if I'm trying to stay in a hotel or whatever, I won't go for the cheapest hotel just because it's cheap. I'm not trying to do the most expensive hotel either, right? Just because it's exclusive. But I'm trying to look at the best, something that's comfortable, good value, and if it's a little bit more, we'll do that. But when it comes to haircuts, I'm gonna tell you, in the states, in America, in Black America, we are the most uh, how can I say it, picky about that type of stuff. The most picky. We worry about it the most. You get a bad haircut, dude having PTSD. You know what I mean? Like you really having a bad day. Or if you thinking you need a haircut, you out of regs. You know what I mean? Like you you over there stressing. I remember the first time it actually dawned on me that the shit really don't matter that much. When I was in Germany, I had a German girlfriend at the time, and I was like, "Yo, I need a haircut." And my hair was, I was in the military, so of course you have certain regulations you need to stay in. And to tell you the truth, I never had nobody tell me I needed a haircut unless it was like an event that was coming up, and we were coming off of something else, and then maybe. But nobody ever really had to tell me I needed a haircut because I would always just get it tightened up. And I would say a lot of that goes the same for a lot of the black men in the military in general. You just always on top of your own hair before anybody else is. But then I realized she told me one time I was like, "Yo, I need to get a haircut." She's like, "No, you don't." I was like, well, I was getting up. My hair was already really low. I was like, "Oh, I gotta brush my hair, right?" She's like, "For what?" I was like, "Look, you ain't used to seeing black hair. You don't know what this thing, was not what it ain't supposed to look like." She's like, "But it looks good either way." I was like, "Cause you know how I don't know. Sometimes I feel like white dudes with their hair, they can get away with a lot. Like they can go out with roughed up hair, and it's almost like another style. Like they can do that, right? Where black hair, depending on your hair texture and type, all that, there's like no, you can't get away with it. It's not, you can't really go out and not have it brushed, or you got to put a cap on, something like that. So, but then I started to realize a lot of places around the world, they're just not as picky. And I know some people that, oh, they just don't know what they're looking at, like I said, right before. But in reality, what does it matter? If they think it's acceptable, maybe they don't see many people with your type of hair. But here's the thing: as long as your clothes aren't dingy, you're not smelling dirty, like, and all of that, most people don't care around the world. Even going out and talking with women, what I started to realize is a lot of times, not having the tightest shave or the tightest haircut at the time, and you going out and still be able to smile and have a good time and all that, it just shows you're relaxed. And sometimes people like that. They like being around relaxed individuals. Um, like I said, I'm not going to say that you just let your stuff go wild. I've let my stuff go wild traveling before, and it's it does get to a point you're like, okay, I got to do something about this. But I would say in general, black people are the most uh, self-aware when it comes to that type of stuff, and then towards other black people too. So even if I might be chilling, somebody else will be, "Oh man, you need a haircut." Like, no, I don't, man. I'm good. I'm good, baby. I'm out here doing things, and things are happening. I'm conversing with people, and it's all good. So that's one lesson I've learned. Also, that barber thing, getting a fresh, tight haircut is important when you're on the East Coast, especially on the East Coast in the United States, and when you're young, when you're in your when you're in your 20s, you know. Oh man, when you're young and you get a bad haircut, that's dudes will cry for a bad haircut. You get older, you get a bad haircut. It's like, man, I'll cut all this off. You mess it up if you want to. I'll just go back and let's get it done. That happened to me in Brazil. Dude didn't know what he was doing in Rio. I just went back and cut it all off. Easy. The cut was only $5 anyway, so all in all, it just took me 2 weeks of getting back. He said when you get a fresh thing is when you get that fresh line up, it feels like this. Oh yeah, I know what it's like, bro. Trust me. I've had uh I've had a fresh cut before from a good barber. You know what I mean? He got skills. Don't get me wrong, he got skills. But then my barber, man, he went a little off the rails during the COVID thing one time. He asked me about something. He said, "Oh, you got the vaccine? Like you ain't wearing the mask?" I'm like, "Bruh, like for real?" I was like, I'm done, bro. I'm like, I just walked out. I was like, I can't, whether I got the vaccine or not. If you really believe in all this stuff, I can't be getting pressured by my barber. You never worried about the flu, anything before. What you should be worried about is somebody got headlights up in here. You know what I mean? So I ended that business relationship, and it's actually, to me, it's more freeing. Not even worried about that. I probably should learn to cut my own hair, even if it's just the basics. Because a lot of places I'm going, I could probably give myself a bowl cut. Just not no fade, no nothing. Just straight line right there. Get it off the neck. Have this somewhat presentable. I go to some places, they be, oh, cool, whatever. and then and then over time, you just start learning how to fade it a little bit, or learning what you can and can't do. Like, all right, I can't have a lot of hair, and then think I'm gonna go from tight to this with a gradual fade because I ain't that good. But if I keep it low and then I can fade it enough, I can trick people. I think that's what I need to learn. I need to learn some barber tricks. I don't even need to learn how to cut hair. Just trick them a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So $25 in North Carolina, that's a decent price. If the barber know what he doing and the barber can get you tight, that's decent. You know. So dang, is that much of a difference between Mississippi and Memphis? Now I'm assuming you're talking about right there on the line between Memphis and what's that, like, damn, what's that border right there? But yeah, I know I've been there. I got people that stay on both sides. So yeah, that's, I'm trying to think if I even know any barbershops right there on the Mississippi side. Seems like on the Memphis side they all over the place. But yeah, that is what's crazy about the states. Like, it is a big disparity. What about the price of eggs though? I heard the price of eggs was getting ridiculous. I mean, I'm about to flex on y'all. Hold on. Is this the new flex right here? Is this the new flex? Look at this right here. Look at this, y'all. Oh yeah, what y'all know about that? I got them eggs, y'all. Got the fresh eggs. Y'all want me to ship y'all some eggs? I'll ship y'all some eggs, bro. Y'all don't know nothing about these Colombian eggs, bro. Got them eggs. How many I got right here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I ate 3 this morning. I boiled them. Put some Himalayan salt on them things. I got 9 eggs, baby. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of this joint. Si la ve lo bueno. Typical AA. The double A. I got the double A eggs. Watch, I'm gonna be sitting here trying to brag about my eggs and drop this whole thing. But yeah, man, eggs are still decent price out here in Colombia. I don't know what's going on in the States with eggs, but um, yeah, there's still good price out here. Still regular prices. I think I had them delivered too. You know, still worked out where it's cheap. I had that delivered and some other stuff. So that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about here. If you know what's going on, you know how you set up. You can order groceries, have them delivered, and it's still cheaper. Like I think I had eggs, some bottled water. What else did I get? I think I got a thing of chocolate, um, and something else. And with the delivery, let's see what it worked out to. Let me stop guessing and just check my ordered list because they got this thing out here called Rappi, right? And you can order a bunch of stuff. Let me tip this guy. I'm gonna tip him $1. Always tip the guys $1, which is about 5,000 pesos, Colombian pesos. Let me see. How do I go to my orders? But the thing is, Rappi will spoil you out here. You'll be using the app for everything, and it's just you can say you even did something like Domino's Pizza, or well, they always deliver, right? But let's say you did something like McDonald's or something. You can order it, and with the delivery and everything, when it gets to you, what you pay with the tip is equal to or less than what you would pay when you go and get it yourself in the States. And I'm talking about something like McDonald's, which is they got flat fees, right? But it's still cheaper here than other places. Now you could order something from a more localized place, get it and get it just way cheaper than anything else. You order groceries. I'm trying to look up this thing. Let me see. Past orders. I think we do that. Nope, that's not there. I still don't know how to navigate this app totally. Yeah, I can't even see my past orders. This app gives me problems sometimes too. Anyway, but my whole point on that was just the fact that I probably ordered all that stuff and got it delivered, and it was still cheaper than what is going on with the egg prices in the States right now. And it's eggs, right? Something the chickens are popping out every day. And when I looked it up, I couldn't even get a real answer. It didn't make any sense to me why. Like they said some egg factory burnt down in one part of the country. I'm like, yo, man, we the United States, we got 4 time zones, bro. We got 4 time zones of landmass that you can drive across. And one place burned down, that's the get the hell out of here. And people just eating it up, like, oh yeah, the chicken place burned down. Get the hell out of here, man. They faking it like a motherfucker. I don't know what's going on with people and just believing whatever storyline is being told. eggs, bro. That's a staple. That's a staple. It's almost like a. It almost feels like a straight up insult to the everyday person's intelligence that that can even happen. And I know that they'll have some smart person, smart educated person come on and try to tell you, give you all these reasons why. It still don't make no sense. It still don't make no sense because eggs can be produced at the drop of a dime. At the drop of a dime, like chickens are not big animals. Their rotation I don't even know much about chickens, but what I do know is you can produce chickens very fast. There's little upkeep, but that egg that they produce has a lot of nutrients, vitamins, all of that in it. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even in Africa and places, even you go places in the desert and people getting eggs. For real, people are really getting eggs in the desert. So yeah, yeah. We told us to do the avian. What happened to the other avian flus we had before the bird flus? I heard that at first, and then I heard some egg factory burnt down in Chicago area, something like that. I don't know. I was like, which one is it? I was like, if it's the flu, avian flu, all the birds got it, or how they all get it that quick? Because that's one thing about chickens, right? Like they're not, like I said, they're not big animals and they're spaced out. People can have chickens in their backyard. You telling me they got the flu from the chickens at Purdue in some factory setting? No, these people can still produce their chickens and then set up over here. And I understand the whole logistics of big companies having issues and then the price is going up. But I think that's all it is big companies are just they just want the prices to go up, and people are just eating it up like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you know, we can tell them anything now, and they'll just do what we say. We got them good. We got them hooked. Yeah, that's what you're told in Europe. Avian flu. I tell you the truth, I don't know what the cause is. I don't think anybody knows. Tell you the truth. Yeah, that's that is the best answer that I've come up with too. It's just greed. It's just greed, and I think, tell you the truth, I think we're going to see more of it from other companies because there's no consequences. People ain't doing nothing. There's no consequences. They can come up with whatever they want. Tell you that you got to pay for air because all you people are, too many people sucking up the oxygen out of the air and is killing plants and other animals. And you gotta stop breathing for a few minutes every day. And people are do it now. People are that conditioned now where they about to start taking away air. I think. I know I'm going off on a whole nother subject. Sorry, YouTube algorithm. Don't don't penalize me for speaking some truth over here. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It's I think more people need to start thinking critically, digging in right away. Anytime I feel like this, anytime you see something on the news today in 2020, I would for me it's been like this for a long time. But I would say in 2023, after everything that's been happening, if you take at face value what you hear in the news, I don't I think you just want an easy existence. which history has showed as time goes on, people have to use their brains more and more. If you look back to 100 years ago when people first started driving cars, you know, people didn't like cars because it was different. You had to get a driver's license, you had to study, get a test, and do all this stuff. And like, oh, stoplight, what we need a stoplight for? Da, da, da. Like, you know, there's all this resistance to these things, and a lot of it is you have to be thinking more to basically live, right? You can't just exist. Um, I see that a lot actually when foreigners from, like, even in my family, West Africa, come to the United States, and you'll see some people who come from Africa and they don't have any skills, right? They didn't go to college. They don't have any real technical skills, whether it's being a mechanic or anything like that. When they come to the States, uh, it's a hard adjustment because you don't have nothing to jump into, right? And you used to just basically existing, like being able to just do like minimum work. You got a lot of family around. You can always get a meal. More than likely, you can get a meal. You can do minimum work. Somebody give you a meal. You can just your whole existence. You can move around like that. It's the weather never gets really cold, just rainy. So you can have the same set of clothes and they can last you years, right? Well, when you come to the States and there's, especially if you come to the East Coast or the Northeast, there's different seasons and you have to have the clothes for that. So you have to make the money to have the clothes for that, to change for that. You have to have a job, right? You have to be somewhere. You have to pay rent. These are things that life is not structured like that in some of these other places. Um, and I think that's one adjustment I've seen, and you can continue to see even till today, um, of where people who might be coming from a place where they're more on autopilot and you don't have to think about your movements as much, and then they come over there and you got to start thinking about your movements more. But then also too, in the States, you get used to certain things and you don't want to think about doing things any different. I go to work, do my 9 to 5, I come around, I pay my bills, bang, 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 every month, ha ha ha. Couple weeks out of the year, vacation time, I come back, bam, bam, bam again. I'm getting ready for next year. I'm doing this thing, and da da da. Da. And that's most of our existence, right? And it's just something that you unless you think about it, you will always be doing that. Unless you actually purposely think about the condition you're in, you will always be doing that thing. And a lot of times the news and everything that's being pushed, when I say pushed, it means like the stuff that comes to you and you didn't even search for. Think about that. There's a lot of information that comes to you, especially in the United States. You never you never asked for it. It was just there. You have to think about that. You have to think about that type of information that's always ready for you. If you don't, you might just be a new type of slave. You're probably just a new slave, you know? Yes, I would hope. And more people need to start questioning more and even more, get even more critical with their thinking. A lot of times the news, I think you can overdo watching the news. I've seen people before, they, come back from work and their way of decompressing is just turning on the news, whether it's Fox News or CNN, whatever side they on, right? That's just what they do. Just come back. They just want to not think about anything and decompress. And I get that. I understand that. But you have to know that's what you're doing. And then while you're doing that, you got to know that they know that's what you're doing. So where's the business model in that? While you're at a nice, relaxed brain state, they're trying to, you know, manipulate you. But I mean, from what I'm hearing, the major news networks, their ratings are tanking, their viewership is going down. More people are getting on YouTube, watching, searching for content they want to see, and that's a good thing. Long as you still know the algorithm can still conform to you or get you to conform to certain things by adjusting what you see. So every once in a while, you got to throw something in your mix to break it up. Um, I would say for me, as far as media consumption, now that I think about it, I was kind of forced when I lived in Germany. I had a place there and I had internet, but I didn't get German TV because I was like, I'm not even going to understand half of what's being said, right? So why would I pay for that service? So I had the internet and I used this was like 2007 or 8. And I remember I hooked up my computer to my TV back then and I had a Logitech mouse, but it was an air mouse. Like you could have it in the air and it will still function. And I had a wireless keyboard hooked up to my TV. And then I would just pull up stuff. And back then you had YouTube, but you had other sites where you can download videos. And I would just go and download stuff. A lot of times it was documentaries, some movies, but I was more into documentaries. Um, Sometimes I turn on a news channel, business channel, or something like that that had a online feed. It wasn't like a YouTube channel back then. It was like they had an online feed. So that kind of forced me. I had cut the cord supposedly since then, 2007, and it forced you to. I didn't notice it at first. It's like, damn, man, I gotta go look for stuff. When this thing in, I gotta find something else to watch. And if I want to, blah blah blah, or have some people over like to entertain them, I'd have to find something to watch. And I was watching all this stuff, man. I think that's the first time I saw the documentary Zeitgeist, and then they had Zeitgeist 1 and 2 and all that. And that was, I think they were on YouTube. But watching a lot of stuff like that just opens up your mind a little bit. Whether it's completely true or not, it's just a different way of seeing some things, and that's needed. And I would say if it's here in 2023 and you're not forcefully running for some independent media, whether it's Tay's YouTube, Tay International YouTube, or anybody else's, or just different things on different angles, whether you're talking about health, wealth, travel, relationships, all of this stuff, spirituality, even, you know what I mean? All this stuff, it's so many ideas out there. Not to say, you're going to find the truth on the internet, but you'll see you'll see different angles that you won't get from the old stuff. And I think a lot of people know that now. A lot of people know that now, but I think it's more serious than most people know. I'll say watching mainstream media, watching stuff that's constantly coming to you, whether it's the news or the stuff they're showing on the television networks, where you just click on a channel or flip through and the stuff is just there coming. I think that is very detrimental to mental growth. I mean, just the act of that versus you going on YouTube, finding, thinking about something like, oh damn, I want about this, and searching for it, finding that thing, and then yeah, YouTube has an algorithm too. But even going down that rabbit hole algorithm is still more engaging than just flipping the channel like, oh, WB, let me see what they got. Oh, this channel, let me see what they got. Let me see what they got. It was a great business model for a while. They got us all growing up. But nowadays, it's over. If you're still doing that, you are if you are still watching mainstream media TV for whatever reason, it's convenient, it's easy, you don't want to do nothing, you just want to relax, you're getting left behind. There's people out here, there's kids out here learning how to make music from computer. I was seeing this, somebody sent me something the other day on Instagram. This kid who's obviously his dad or somebody, mom, is teaching him how to do all this musical stuff on computers and stuff. But dude is making beats out of everything. He be like this and be like, and then something else, and then be sampling it right from this mic right here. Pull up his iPad and say something in it, airdrop it to a computer. 2 hours later, dude got a beat talking about I brushed my teeth. I brushed my teeth to the beat. Like, yo, he making me feel retarded. That kid was like, I think he's like 8 or something like that. But because when I'm watching him, he's making music beats, but the motions of what he's doing is the same thing as editing, right? So let me see if I can pull up my. Do I got my project up? Let me see if I can pull up a project right quick. Yeah, let me see if I can share this with y'all. Maybe I share it through the camera. Let's see. Uh, Maybe this will zoom in. Oh, let me see. And make sure we good on the. Okay, yeah, we good there. So let me zoom in. All right, if I go right here, maybe you can see what's going on. You can see a little bit of what's happening there. But yeah, so I got this, and I'm doing some stuff here, and you got different stuff going on. You got a lot of stuff that you can do here, right? You can go in and do a lot of different things in this software, which I'm not exactly 100% on just yet. I'm still learning a lot. You can zoom in, you can do all this wild stuff, fade out points, fade in, EQ, which I'm learning a lot about. Um, but yeah, all this is just wild stuff that you can right there. I don't know if we're gonna get in on the next group. Do this, put compressors on. Yeah, just you know, different stuff like this. So it's kind of cool at the same time, but it's also it's serious work, and it's just one of those things that learning how to do is not necessarily the easiest thing. Not necessarily the easiest thing, but you know, it's a skill. It's a skill. It is a skill, and it's yeah. This is like some of the stuff I'm doing when I look online. A lot of times when I'm looking online, I'm learning trying to learn new things about this right now. Um, Obviously, sometimes I'm trying to go places, trying to travel places, so I'm learning about new places as well, researching new places. Um, I know a lot of people have. I know some years before I did a lot of search about investing and different types of assets and stuff like that, and that pays off. If you can teach yourself about money, budgeting, investing, that stuff pays off, and it's not going to pay off. If you think it's going to pay off immediately, I would say you might be mistaken. I mean, I think most of that stuff when you're learning financial, when you're trying to get up on financial stuff, I think it's more for, it's like a 10-year journey. No bull. Um, 5 years if you're really on it. I think if you're trying to make a hard pivot, I think that hard pivot probably 5 years and you'd be good. But I don't think you can do. I don't think you'll do any meaningful change in less than 5 years. Even if you hit the lottery, if you haven't changed your mindset about how that stuff works, um, you'll just be right back in a similar situation before that, uh, in no time. So yeah, I think it's a long journey. It's not a journey you can brag about either. I hear some people they's talking about some things and they going like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, da da da. Like, yeah, all right. You could lose that too. You could lose that all real fast, and that's a lot of times what happens um, when I think you take something like a lifelong skill and you try to make it into a short term gimme. I don't know. I just think I feel like it's like that with finance. It's like that with fitness. It's like that with relationships as well. Like somebody who gets on the, oh yeah, I got this girl and we getting married and da, 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 da. Like, okay, talk that now. But the fact that you're talking about it like you got it mastered after a year or two is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Like it's not certain things aren't like that. Like maybe you can master editing. I'll give I'll say some people maybe can master something that I struggle with. It's taking me years. They can master editing in like a year, or maybe even master making the whole thing of YouTube videos in a year. I'm obviously not that quick with it, but certain things you can't master in 1 year. You just can't. And if you try to act like you did, I'm sorry, you're just making a fool of yourself just for the next 5 years from now, you looking back at yourself is gonna look cringe. So um that's something to keep in mind with some of those things when you're dealing with people who are giving advice on certain things like that they don't have even a long track history of. But yeah. Anyway, 2 hours, 25 minutes. I think, our views have gotten pretty low. Although it don't matter. We just here chatting anyway. But I do have uh something I'm gonna get into tonight, so I need to get ready for that. And yeah, it's Friday. I hope everyone is enjoying their Friday and going to enjoy their Friday evening, whatever you're doing, even if you're staying in. Um, but yeah, appreciate y'all for coming through. Stay tuned. Got another video in Ghana dropping soonish. All right, probably this weekend. Probably before Monday, it'll be out. And then after that, I'm gonna try to pick up the pace again. Had the pace going for a minute, but I'm gonna try to drop some long form videos and get them out there relatively quickly. May do a few shorts in between and a couple lives. You know, so check out the videos that I got out now. Some of the shorts been dropping, trying different things, and then yeah, appreciate y'all coming through for this live. Take care. Appreciate y'all.